Alright, hey you guys, what's up? This is my first Overwatch review. I haven't done Overwatch before, so we'll see how this goes. This is a pro game between Gale and Envyus. I'm actually not sure what tournament this is. Oh, it's Go To Gamers Overwatch Weekly, so that's basically this guy. I actually have no idea which round this was in. If this was the finals or if it wasn't. It's best of 3. Right now we're on King's Row. Gale forces defending first. So right away, I want to take a look at these comps because I'm not really sure about everything. So just bear with me. If I make a mistake, then criticize me. But we're going to start with Gale Force. On the defending side, they have the double support with Lucio and Mercy. I blanked on the name there for a second. So I got the Lucio and the Mercy. McCree, Widowmaker, Reinhardt, and Roadhog. So we got the double DPS. Well, Widowmaker isn't really DPS, more just kind of like control slash lock. Like, I don't know how to say it. It's like long range zone control, I guess. You have to respect her her damage and her distance, but she's not really DPS. Like, she doesn't do a lot of damage per second. Unlike McCree, obviously, a very strong DPS character, more of a duelist than straight DPS. Like, there are only 2 straight DPS characters, in my opinion, in Overwatch, and that's Bastion and Soldier 76. They fall into my 2 qualifiers. Like, you have to have a lot of attack speed and a lot of damage, and that's Bastion and Soldier. But I don't want to get into that. Basically, McCree and Widowmaker are the main damage sources on Gale Force's defense, with the Reinhardt for protection, and of course the Roadhog to get picks onto the enemy. I actually don't really know why they have a Roadhog. I feel like picking a different off-tank, maybe like a Winston or something, would be stronger. I might just be wrong though about that. Again, I haven't seen this match, so I don't know how they're gonna play the Roadhog, for 1, and for 2, I don't play competitive Overwatch, so I don't play Overwatch at this kind of high level. I mean, I play Overwatch competitively, but I don't play at this level, so I don't know exactly how the Roadhog is used. I mean, he's got the hook, so he can be a great pick. He's got terrible range, though, which is really why I don't like him. I don't like Roadhog because he has just such garbage range, but not going to spend time focusing on that too much. On Envyus' side, we have a Widowmaker, Zarya, Mercy, Soldier 76, Pharah, and a Reinhardt to finish it off. So Widowmaker, I think, is pretty much just a standard kind of character. I like to see it on every team, really. I feel like snipers are just really good on Overwatch because it gives you such control. And then Widowmaker just gives you a lot more options than Hanzo. Like, Hanzo is the only other competition, really, for Widowmaker in terms of the role that they perform, but Hanzo doesn't really do much outside of his ultimate, right? I mean, Widowmaker's just much more, like, consistent, because you don't have that projectile-based shot. Like, Hanzo definitely does a lot of damage, just like Widowmaker, but the unfortunate thing is that Hanzo is really hard to use effectively and consistently, especially against a lot of the movement abilities that you find here in Overwatch. It's really hard to hit those arrows, unlike on Widowmaker, where it's just point, click, hit, scan, a lot easier. So I feel like Hanzo doesn't have much of a place right now. I might just be underestimating him a bit. He does have a lot of utility with his Sonic Arrow, which is basically, a Widow ultimate, but on a much shorter cooldown. And his ultimate is really good for controlling a point. Like, if the enemy team's on your objective, you can just hit that dragon out and triple kill, quadra kill, play the game. That kind of thing. So next we have Zarya. Zarya is pretty good. The great thing about Zarya is that you can block insta-gib damage. Like, if you have your DPS, you got your Soldier 76, and you see, like, some big, like, you see him get flashbanged or something, You just put that shield onto him, and he can survive the burst, and then you can heal back up with Mercy. So that's why Zarya is really good. Um, so I like the Zarya pick. Mercy, I feel like that's just a pretty standard support pick. I didn't really talk about Mercy all that much, but Mercy is just a really good support pick. I kind of prefer Lucio when you're attacking, though, because I really think this speed boost is nice, especially for like engaging onto the point, especially like the ultimate too from Lucio. Like that's really strong for engaging onto a point, but you know, maybe they just want the straight heal. You can engage onto a point pretty good with Reinhardt just going in with shield, so I don't think they'll be lacking there. And then the Soldier, straight DPS. I really like Soldier. I think Soldier's underrated. He's really long range for a lot of characters. His accuracy is so stupidly good at long range. It's ridiculous. So he's got really long range DPS. Like true DPS at a long range is really good, I think. Kind of broken. Plus he's got the AoE heal for his team. Kind of makes him not out of support, but it helps make up for like if you want to run one support. Taking a soldier helps make up for that lack of healing. Like they're running double support on defensive, but you can get it. You can definitely get away with only running one healer on attack with a soldier. I mean, you can get away with it anyways, but like I feel like it's even better. Like if you're gonna pick soldier, you don't have to run two supports, two healers, I should say. Pharah is pretty good for dealing with Widow, right? I mean, Widow's gonna be on the defensive side every time, I think. I don't think there's a map where you wouldn't take Widowmaker. Unless you just had a really bad Widow player on your team, like you had no one who can play Widow, then you might not take Widow. But at that point, it's like, well, what are you doing if you can't play Widow, right? But, you know, so far it's pretty good at dealing with Widow. I mean, on the flip side, though, Widow's also pretty good for dealing with Pharah. Like, it's kind of a skill matchup type dealio, because Widowmaker is fairly good at dealing with Pharah compared to most heroes in my opinion. Like, you need a hit scan kind of hero to deal with Pharah because it's just way too hard to hit a projectile onto Pharah when she's in the air. So, in that sense, Widowmaker's actually kind of well equipped, but at the same time, she's pretty squishy and vulnerable to a couple good Pharah rockets. And she's relatively immobile compared to I shouldn't say that. Widowmaker's got about medium mobility. So I think Pharah can actually deal with Widowmaker pretty decently. But at the end of the day, it is mostly a skill matchup that I'd say is slightly in favor of Pharah. But I like Pharah on attack just because you can get into interesting angles and kind of force the enemy out of kind of different chokeholds and stuff with your ability to just move them around with Rocket Splash or with your E, which is like, I don't know what it's called, like Concussive Blast or something. That ability that moves people. Anyways. And then Reinhardt to finish off. Reinhardt's just a staple, you know? Like, he's just a pure tank, and that's really good. Like, his whole job. Like, like, all the other tanks, you know, like Zarya, Roadhog, Winston, Diva, they're all really, like, aggressive. Like, you want to go in, so, like, you tank damage on those guys by going into the enemy team and just, like, doing damage. Like, you force the enemy team to focus you because you get in close and you do damage. But Reinhardt's different, and that's why he's really good. And that, like, there's no other hero in Overwatch that can fulfill Reinhardt's role, really. Reinhardt is basically just pure defensive peel for DPS, you know? And that's why he's so good on attack and defense. So I've spent way too much time talking about these team comps, and I probably got a lot of things wrong. But we're going to get right into the game and watch it and see where it goes. We get about 30 seconds until the thing goes. So I'm actually just going to... I'm not going to fast forward. So looking at where everyone's set up, they're all kind of setting up behind that first choke point. They're all 5 right there. I assume that right off the bat, Lucio's going to speed boost him. Because we got the Widowmaker on Envyus just peeking out, trying to see people. Got the 100% charge, ready to, you know, shoot anyone that peeks out. It's really important that you do have this kind of scouting. They have the Pocket Mercy there, right? They see the Reinhardt shield. Yeah, they're all just rushing out. So I'm actually kind of confused by this. So right here, I just muted. So I'm not sure, and this is just my inexperience talking. This isn't me being like Gale Force is completely wrong. This is me like being actually like totally. I just have no clue, but I don't know why Gale Force has set up behind the main. Actually, I think I kind of get it. You see, like, so my point is like, right here is this little gateway, like, right here. Can you see my? Yeah, you can see my mouse. All right. So right here is this little gateway. I was wondering why Gale Force doesn't just set up right here and put the Reinhardt shield right there, but it kind of makes sense to me because then you can get a Pharah like right away, just that's her left shift ability. Anyways, you get a Pharah right away, just and shoot down a lot of rockets, and then you force the defense out of position. So and now obviously they don't know that there's a Pharah for sure on the Envyus team, but you gotta plan for this kind of thing. And if there's flanking heroes as well, they can get behind that choke point pretty. I shouldn't say pretty easily, but they can get behind the choke. Like, it's not the hardest choke to get around. It's not the easiest, but it's not the hardest either. So I guess it makes sense to me now. Like, just setting up on the point rather than setting up at this choke. You don't really give up any major strategic advantage though either. Now that I'm thinking about it, like, you don't give up anything for doing that. I mean, you lose control of like 2 buildings, but at the end of the day, do you actually need control of those 2 buildings? Not really. They don't. The 2 buildings behind this archway don't actually lead onto the point. They just give you some sniping ground, I guess. They do got to be careful about. There's no mini map on this game, which really frustrates me. So I can't like point, but there is kind of a flank, but it's not a very good flank. Alright, so they're trying to break down the Reinhardt shield right now.
Nicholas actually having to duel someone up there in the window already. He does take out Tailspin very quickly. Coco falls as well, so defense actually.
So already the defense is doing really good. They got a bunch of kills there, so we need to rewatch that and see exactly how it happened. So, all right, everyone's alive. We're going through. Reinhardt goes on. They all go on the right side of the statue.
Nothing really going so far for the defense.
So Fair.
They're actually having to back off.
Yeah. So Envyus's Fair goes right into the defensive Widowmaker's point to try and contest that. So they're forcing Widowmaker. So Fair is forcing Widowmaker, the defensive Widowmaker, back, and that's basically what they need. They need that pressure there so that they can contest the point. But Lucio, and I assume a bunch of other people from Gale Force, manages to take out Soldier 76 from Envyus, which is really important because now Envyus doesn't really have their DPS, right? Farah's is all, you know, Farah's dealing with Widowmaker basically, and they have no soldier. So the only thing they have left for damage is Widowmaker, but Widowmaker's not going to take out, you know, 5 people on a point. That's ridiculous. So that kill onto the soldier, and I don't know how it happened, is really important there. And then Widowmaker ends up soloing out Pharah, so that's pretty bad. I don't know how that happens, but it's really bad. But basically, they have to regroup outside of this choke right here. And no one on Gale Force dies at all. So that was just a completely stuffed charge. So they're going to recharge their Reinhardt shield, and then they're going to go back. They're going to try and get some poke in with Widowmaker. This makes sense. You know, they want to get that Reinhardt shield down as fast as possible, so just, you know, so that Soldier 76 can do his DPS. Farah gets hooked. Sorry, I thought that was someone else. I was confused. Oh, that's a really important pick. So, Widowmaker taking out the other Widowmaker. This is an important pick because now Soldier 76 doesn't have to worry about getting one shot, or Farah as well. So they're pretty much free to go on to this point with their 2 DPS. There's no one on MVS who died, so this is a really important pick. They should be able to take control of the site from that. Now, the big question is, just assuming everything's equal, but the big question for me is, how close is Lucio's all? Okay, he's at 79%. They could completely stuff a push here, so...
And he's going to be looking for those healers and other
Wow, Envyus went really aggressive there.
Take what he can get in combination with
Sorry, not Envyus, the enemy team. Wait a second. Timing was on Envyus. Okay, so... Oh my gosh, I'm so stupid. Okay. I got completely screwed over with that. With the... I'm switching, you know, perspectives, or points of view. So, I got really confused there. Alright, so a bunch of people are dying, though. Gale Force...
Currently just having Harry Hook here on Soldier deep into enemy territory.
Gale Force's Mercy is down. The ult's up from Lucio, so they should be fine. They should be able to stuff a push, I think. There's no major ults up from Envyus. They just gotta regroup here. Soldier does get in behind the point. Oh, and that's actually really important. He's hitting the Reinhardt behind the shield, and he's able to deal with Widowmaker now.
After he drops down, he's actually much more exposed. Oh, he does finish off Nicholas, though. Anapops is...
So finishes off the Widowmaker. Reinhardt's down on Envyus, but that doesn't matter at this point, I don't think.
He's only got 27 health.
Oh, rip. He just got murked. There's a res coming in. So they're still going to have DPS for this push. Envyus is. And then Soldier will be able to run back, so might be able to take this objective right here. Puts down the healing ward. That Reinhardt shield's about to break.
Gale Force to try and keep them in the fight here.
Oh, that is a really good ult. That's gonna screw over. Yeah, he got the Zarya too. Yeah, that was a totally stuck push. That was a really good ultimate.
Not even able to get a single tick yet in the first 2.5 minutes. Good job for Gale Force hanging on.
Yeah, I mean, Envy, they committed a lot to that too. We saw that Earthshatter come out at the last moment there from Coco, just trying to make something happen, but completely denied that ability. And now we have Internet Hulk with that one ultimate, the combo they have available, so they can pair that Graviton Surge with, of course...
Alright, so Widowmaker's in a good spot to be, like, poking. Soldier's gonna try and get around on the back again, I think. Farah's, oh, sick Farah. And then they have the Mercy on top of that, pocketing. And then there's the res up from the Mercy as well. From both teams, actually, so that's gonna be important. I think their Mercy just rezzed Gale Force's Mercy.
I like this flank here. We actually see the aimbot being cast there from Soldier, being empowered here from Crypt. Chips on that Mercy, doing a nice job cleaning up this fight and actually keeping that Soldier alive. Beautiful push here from Envy, but I'm not sure it's going to be enough for that.
Yeah, this is a really good flank from Envyus. The funny thing I've seen is that nobody on either side has switched heroes. I mean, I'm not super surprised by that, but...
Not able to use the res even if he had it, 67% only.
Yeah.
So offense is finally going to get it with 1 minute 29 remaining. Nice 3.5-minute hold there for Gale Force. So as
okay, they're going to switch.
Every second counts, and Envyus
switch heroes now. So they switched their Soldier out to McCree and a Widowmaker out to Lucio.
Definitely a nice job for Gale Force. They'll hang on even.
And then Gale Force switched Roadhog to Winston. Kept the McCree, Widowmaker for Reaper. So no more Widowmakers coming out. I'm not too surprised by that. Widowmakers doesn't have quite as much room to move around and snipe in the second quarter of Kings Road. They might, the defensive team might bring out a Widowmaker in the last quarter if they get the, I'm saying quarter, last third of the map, if Envyus manages to make it that far with the payload. But McCree is a good pickup, I think. McCree is really able to tank bust with the Fan the Hammer, Flashbang. He works really well in this kind of area because lots of small corners for him to check, and he can just he can Flashbang, Fan the Hammer, shift, Fan the Hammer, take someone out. Really wants to look for duels though, so I'm not sure how easy that's going to be. They still have the Pharah for the AoE to kind of knock people away, which makes sense. Kind of spread people out. It's like a Gragasol in League of Legends. You just want to spread people out so that you can pick people off. Still got the Zarya though.
Now I'm watching Tailspin. He's got his Barrage available, and with a Mercy nearby, that Barrage can do a ton of damage. It does 2,500.
Okay, Lucio ult's out from Gale Force. So they're looking to really push back here.
That damage amp, another 30%. There it is. They just instantly get a raid.
What was the setup for that? I'm really frustrated with the spectator mode right now.
It does 2,500 damage or so if every.
Okay, he's got all. So McCree's down, Lucio's down on Envyus, and on Gale Force. Oh, both tanks are down, but they do have the Lucio ult on. Doesn't even really matter.
30%. There it is. They just instantly get a race. Three members die,
triple kill.
They are brought right back by Shake
right away.
Goes down.
Then another kill coming back in.
The attempt to deny
oh
the
my god!
Power,
the direct hits on Winston. Winston was leaping through the air. Tailspin still nailed him with 2 direct rockets.
His Pharah is actually.
Alright, so
I mean, he's
that's going to be a huge push on the payload. And then they have a Mercy up Zarya kind of protecting the last checkpoint.
So it's now down to that last stretch here with the Earthshatter confirming the pickup and
Reinhardt
a
got
triple kill
wrecked.
for Coco.
Yeah, and Gale Force is getting shredded, so I'm not sure about the Reaper pick, actually, right now, because he hasn't really done, it doesn't really do anything. Like, I actually understand why they picked it, right? It's close quarters in that second third of King's Row, so you can charge up your ultimate really quickly, and again, close quarters, there's no major CC that can stop Reaper from channeling his full ult. So close quarters, you get a good ult off, you stuff a push super easy, totally alone. Like, you don't even need any other ult to combo with that. You just get a Reaper ult and then boom, they're all dead. But
man, watching
I mean, Envyus got such a nice push there from a really good Pharah ultimate. I actually didn't see how they took out Winston and Reinhardt, but then when it's just 4 squishies versus Pharah,
actually switched to JKW.
Dang, you get screwed.
Because, you know, Reinhardt doesn't get so much love, but he actually got melted by that Envy offense, and this is looking really bad for Gale Force when both spawns are actually already being peeked at by Tailspin, and Taimu has that Deadeye available. I'm actually going to watch Taimu just in case that Deadeye gets some value.
It's high noon. Yeah, so they're going to poke people down so that the Deadeye can take out people and get that final push. They got it coming in. I only got one. But they got some poke down. And then they took out the Winston. So they're... Holy crap, dude. That's 3 down on Gale Force right away. What else did they use for that? They seriously only used McCreel? There's no res on Shake from Gale Force. There is a Reinhardt ultimate, but Reinhardt can't go aggressive right now because if he does and he dies, then his team's totally screwed. Okay, res is up from Shake. McCree pops his Deadeye. No other ults. Pharah managed to get a snipe onto Widowmaker. Who did they trade? Oh, they traded Reaper for Widowmaker. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, there's still... Yeah. I don't know why you'd take Reaper on this last third. It makes complete sense to take Widowmaker, because you get the wide open spaces again. But the Pharah manages to take Widowmaker pretty much right out of spawn. That must have been, like, right out of spawn. I'm just looking to see when they switched exactly. Yeah, so right here is when they switch from Reaper to Widow.
Really bad for Gale Force when both spawns are actually already being peeked at by Tailspin, and Taimu has that Deadeye available. I'm actually going to watch Taimu just in case that Deadeye gets some value.
Yeah, some big value there for sure. Now on the defensive side.
Alright, so they have Widow on the top left there, you can see, right on that ledge. And then they have Mercy going up there as well. So that's perfect for Farah to take out right there. And then Mercy's going to be up there as well, so the Deadeye takes out Lucio, Farah takes out Widowmaker, and Winston's... I don't know what Winston's doing. Winston just went in with his shield.
Do have the Deadeye just about ready. Rez just came up. The charge.
So he's trying to block the Deadeye. But
I'm actually gonna watch
I don't know, it just seems... I don't even know how that shield broke so quickly though. That was kind of weird.
Yeah, some big value there for sure. Now,
Is like Reinhardt's shield. There's a Reinhardt shield there, so... Okay, so it must not have been for the Deadeye, because I already have the Reinhardt... Oh, I see. So, Gale forces Reinhardt... Or, sorry, not... Envyus' Reinhardt went in to take out the shield from Gale forces Reinhardt, so that makes sense. Then Winston goes in to drop the shield. But then it immediately breaks. And then the High Noon gets... the Deadeye gets Lucio, and then Winston gets immediately Fan the Hammered. And that's like, holy cow, that's all of them dead. There's a Tracer. So at this point, yeah, they're just playing for overtime, so Tracer coming in. It's not really overtime, but they get a res off. Is that a res? But yeah, no, that's just going to be a game.
Tracer comes in and gets immediately headshot by Taimu at range.
It was a pretty sick headshot, not going to lie.
With the Winston and Lucio coming into the payload, they are going to be able to stall for a few seconds, at least allow the rest of their team to get into place here. I thought I saw 2 Winstons, which would have been against the rules, so I'm glad that I didn't. I actually don't even know if they're doing the custom settings or not for that.
I mean, this is like just that act of desperation to change in their lineup.
That's a very good defense.
They picked up a Winston and a Diva.
I actually don't even know if they're doing the custom. Taimu.
Alright, so right on the last push here. Tracer gets headshot. Shield dropped by Winston. It's broken by McCree. Everyone's full health on Envyus. And Gale forces down a man, so this is an epic defense.
For a few seconds, at least allow the rest of their...
Okay, they poke down Reinhardt a bit. Where's Reinhardt?
With the Winston and Lucio coming into the payload, they are going to be able to stall for a few seconds, at least allow the rest of their team to get into place.
Okay, well, what the heck? Reinhardt's way over here. Envyus is Reinhardt. It's way over there. How did... Okay. Hello? He was just way over there. I don't know why he was way over there. Okay, I just want to double check that. Just to make sure I wasn't seeing the other Reinhardt. Okay, Reinhardt's up at this point. Okay. Reinhardt dies. Reinhardt gets resurrected, and he's over there because he was over there because he went, he charged in to break the shield of Gale forces Reinhardt, JKW. So that's why he was deep. So he gets resurrected. And then he runs to the other side to block the door, I guess. I get that. And then Lucio comes right onto the payload. Concussive blast away.
Good left click there, and with the Winston.
A Winston comes in, shields. There's Diva coming out. So at this point, they're all coming out the right door. Why is Reinhardt still in the left door? Is that like a miscommunication? I don't know. He's
they
still
are
over there,
gonna go
though.
stall for a few seconds, at least allow the rest of their team
You can see they're duking it out. Hammer
to get
battle.
into place here.
There's 3 tanks. Diva. I'm okay. I get it. I get why they don't really need like tons of damage. They just need to stay alive and force people off the payload. So that's why they pick up the 3 tanks.
I thought I saw 2 Winstons, which would have been against the rules, so I'm glad that I didn't. I actually don't even know if they're doing the custom settings or not for that.
I mean,
Yeah, Reinhardt is just over on that left door. And I get, like, you're trying to stuff that, right? You're trying to stop him from coming out both doors, but, like, they're all coming out the right side. You need to switch over and protect. Magnificent defense, though. I mean, the Reinhardt from Envyus just got completely stuffed there. He just got totally dead. Totally deadified.
They got on that point, now they're popping back up, so Torque goes back to McCree to have some more damage available for this team.
Still, though, this is going to be a hard defense to make.
Yeah, thank
To
goodness
get
they
2
don't
Fan the
let
Hammers
anybody
onto
get
that
any
Reinhardt
left.
shield.
Envy, I haven't seen them actually struggle in a long time against
Okay.
anybody, so still
Oh,
really
nice,
their
actually.
timing, though, with that sound
Taimu's
barrier, so
going
they're
deep,
able to
dude.
just push in and roll right through the enemy.
Yeah, they're just going right in.
Now getting some free shots on Nicholas.
Not
and
bad.
This is looking grim for Gale Force. Oh, Winston does ult, but immediately gets earth shattered, so all of them surrounding him just easily take out the Winston. We've got this Lucio player, Joe Meister, actually getting taken out as well. Diva coming out now with the defensive matrix up, tries to
Dude,
use the
he
high
got that
mid,
ult
but
really
still
quick.
about to be used. Torque and Nicholas both fall to it. Rez comes in for the defense. Fan the hammer on McCree. Sorry, onto Reinhardt and Taimu, and Tailspin just finished the job here with that huge barrage. No, Harbor.
Oh, Lucio all coming in. That's gonna be big.
And the shield. Just so much HP to deal with, and finally they.
Yeah, but they managed to get the payload on just at the end.
And that is
So Envyus wins that first round.
Very strong stuff from Envy, of course, but huge props to Gale Force for stalling him as long as they did.
I gotta give like a ton of props to Coco though, because he went in with the charge.
Yeah, so
turned around, earth shattered.
let's see here. Let me think for a second.
Which would have been their
'Cause
defense in that situation. Picked up the kills that they needed, and
I mean, Gale Force held that first point for a while.
That justice reigns from above.
Not sure.
Cleaning up anyone else that was left.
Not sure why they lost it.
Rez actually came in
Exactly
and
what
3
happened.
kills immediately. He was like, oh, I
Well, they all
just got
died
my
for
ult.
one.
Beautiful. Easily killed them, and the Diva mech suit was gone instantly.
I mean, I think it
Switch
was
sides,
like
time to be the 707.
So I mean, actually, that final.
they had good
defense where they swapped out
positions.
the Warrior and the Tracer to keep the point going.
Might have just
that
been
helped them
they
so much
lost
because they extended their time by a lot. Like that's a solid 45.
a name battle.
minute
I don't
they
know.
added onto the clock.
Like I'm trying to think about like why Gale Force lost that round, but I just don't really know why. It's like Envyus just played better. That's a terrible reason though. Like
Gale Force's offense is
what exactly was Envyus doing? I can't even like remember. It's just like they just did everything better. What? Anyway, so we're getting back here into the team assembling for both sides. Gale Force is attacking, of course, and they got the Widowmaker Hanzo. I would be very surprised if they do Hanzo.
Ask Joshi.
I can kind of get it. Like I can kind of dig a Hanzo. You charge up the ultimate, you get a like okay, I get the idea behind it, right? You charge up your ultimate. Envyus is going to be defending around the point. That's easiest Hanzo ultimate of your life. Play the game right there. But at the same time, how do you do that? Like Hanzo's going to get killed by this team, right? They have a Widowmaker. Like they have a Junkrat. Like how is Hanzo gonna charge up?
I would imagine. He likes the Hanzo.
Like there's no great way. There's no great angles for him to go through. I don't think.
Unless he can find a way to shoot.
So why is Gale Force picking the Roadhog up a ton? I get it more on attack, right? I think it's worse on defense. I can kind of dig it right here. Like, you pick off their Soldier 76 somehow. You know, that's pretty good. But they're coming in this first checkpoint. I should stop talking about comps.
Harblue already dead to Taimu. No barrier, man. That
Oh,
just big fat head.
So wait, I kind of interested as to why the Zara, or not Zarya, why the Widowmaker's chilling down here. Like, I feel like if you have the Hanzo, you like rappel up to there, you get a couple of shots off, try not to die. But then while that's going on, you're trying to focus of their Widowmaker, right? And then you have your Hanzo going around, peeking, taking pot shots at the Reinhardt shield to try and poke it down. It's kind of the same thing Envyus did with their Pharah last game. You distract the Widowmaker, but this time you're not doing it with the Pharah, you're doing it with the Widowmaker. You have to distract that big, huge burst of damage, that big control, so that you can peek out with the rest of your team and try and get poked down. Or maybe get a kill. Like, a pick is what you want. You don't want to get poked down, you want to get picked. But, to do that, like, the problem I have is, like, what are they going to do with this attack? Like, they're all just running in there, right? Like, you're just running in with the Reinhardt shield. What's that going to do against a Junkrat? Like, Junkrat's just going to go over the Reinhardt shield. And then if Envyus has their... I don't know where Envyus has their Widowmaker set up. If they have it set up at a vertical angle, you're just going to get yourself screwed. Like, it just seems like a terrible game plan to me.
Always seems like the defensive Widow is getting the better edge. And right now, Time is going to town trying to get anyone down on the backside, nearly missing that hit on the chips with the headshot.
Yeah, I'd say that.
Yeah, I really like what Envyus is doing. They're putting the Junkrat and they're controlling this choke right here, and they're controlling this flank right here too, which is something Gale forced him to do. And I think that there's a decent chance Envyus manages to just completely hold this point.
King of the Hill would be a little bit different, obviously a little more fair in that regard, but they are defensive heroes for a reason. They benefit from having to be pushed into, and Tailspin here just launching all of his equipment, getting a bunch of damage on both tanks now, immediately bounces them and then launches the Riptire knowing that they're displaced, but Harblu does get the kill on the tire. Nothing happening there.
So I gotta pick onto Junkrat with Roadhog. That's pretty important. So the reason that happens though is because they lose control right here, and I'm not sure why they lose control.
Here, just launching.
They have Reinhardt going in. Good concerted push though from Gale Force. I managed to get control of that. I need to go back a little bit further.
Yeah, I'd say that.
So they're controlling this, right? Envyus is controlling this choke.
Just because offense has to go into them.
And then, who's that over there? Is that... Okay, it looks like that is... Roadhog.
So it makes sense. King of the Hill would be a little bit different, obviously a little.
Maybe? I might be seeing that wrong.
They are
It might have been Soldier.
heroes.
Yes, they have Roadhog coming around the side. They got a Widowmaker. Soldier's all the way over there. The nice thing is they have symmetric turrets right there to try and protect Junkrat. But they see Roadhog coming in.
Launching all of his equipment, getting a bunch of damage on both tanks now. Immediately bounces them and then launches the Riptire knowing that they're displaced, but Harblu does.
So as soon as I see the Riptire though, Roadhog's just coming right in here. He's not scared at all.
Kill on the tire. Nothing happening there.
Oh, a nice hook there actually from Harblu as well, picking up the kill.
So now they have a flank. So this is actually really bad for Envyus. They got their Junkrat down and their Widowmaker down. So now it's just McCree and Symmetra for damage, really. I mean, Mercy and Reinhardt don't do anything.
Kill on Tailspin, so that's gonna be Junkrat down, but the res coming through.
Okay, that's a good res. That's really important. They can defend the point now. They use Reinhardt ultimate just to kill the Roadhog, which I'm not sure if that was absolutely necessary, because Roadhog had just used his heal, but better safe than sorry, I suppose.
Teleporter in the back of the point right now, though, so offense needs to.
And they have a teleporter that's really important.
Position compared to what you normally see around the corner.
Let me go back just a tiny bit. So Reinhardt's gonna... JKW is running up onto the point. He's gonna get healed by Mercy, it looks like. And then... they have Widowmaker right there. Soldier right there. I mean, Roadhog's still coming back. He's got his ult though. So, where is their... Did they switch Hanzo out? Thank goodness. I was so confused about that Hanzo. Did they switch... Okay, now I'm really confused. Did they switch it out before they even began? Or did they switch it out in the middle? Either way, they have a McCree now, which is much better. In my opinion.
The point, but Coco comes in with the charge, forcing him away, but the heals from Mercy are good, not enough.
Alright, so good flank. Doesn't actually kill Junkrat though, so never mind. It's not a good flank. It was a good idea. That didn't work out because they didn't have anyone else coming in. That flank only works if you have pressure, right? So they're putting in the Reinhardt right now, right? They need to clear out. Oh, sorry, this isn't a flank. This is just coming in the front of the site. I'm stupid. So get the symmetric turret down. This only works, though, if you have a Reinhardt. Like, Reinhardt's all the way over there. Why are you peeking out? I just think that's really stupid.
In the end, in this moment, now we have Hardblue coming in with his ult on the backside of the point, taking a lot of damage.
Like, why would you be peeking out? This is so dumb.
Anytime Taimu's just in the mix and not being focused, I swap over to him just to see how many headshots it gets. He did pick off Hardblue.
Alright, so they're regrouping.
And force the offense to reset. You can see several members of offense were on fire until just now when I started talking about it, of course. But JKW and Torque do have that Earth Shatter into Deadeye combo. High Noon does come out first. The shield is actually going to break before he can get it off, and Internet Hulk actually scores the killing below. I'm not sure if that was a turret. What? Tyre comes out.
Got absolutely stuffed.
Kills, but Harry Hook on McCree
That was
actually getting kills on both
terrible
Mercy.
push.
Taimu getting the kill on Lucio, and things are going Envy's way hard here.
I gotta watch that again, you guys.
He can get it off, and Internet Hulk actually scores the killing below. I'm not sure if that was.
Holy moly, that is like 3 kills right in a row. So they get. So Symmetra gets. How does Symmetra even get McCree? Does McCree literally just walk into one of those orbs? Or is it a turret? Really should kill if he was more detailed. I think it was a turret. I'm gonna assume it was a turret. So I get McCree. And then. Oh my gosh, dude. Harry Hook. The McCree from Envyus gets off 2 kills with his Deadeye.
I'm not sure if that was a turret or what. Tyre comes out, doesn't score any.
That's
kills,
3 kills
Harry
right
Hook
there, and then this whole push
kills
is
on both
completely
Nicholas and
screwed.
Mercy. Taimu getting the kill on Lucio, and things are going Envy's way hard here.
And they're gonna get a nice spot on this Widowmaker too to stop any more pushes.
Here on the side of Envyus. And we are seeing actually some swap ups. So, I mean, with Winston and the Reinhardt trying to dive in at the point, lots of shields available to try to set up for the big ultimates. But I mean, again, there's nothing, no charge there on that Reaper. No.
They brought in a Reaper, dude. That is so desperate. They're literally just hoping to get a good Reaper ultimate onto the point. Because what else is Reaper gonna do? This is too long range for him to actually get, like, good damage off on people.
Taimu getting the kill on a flying gorilla.
This is so desperate.
Internet Hulk and Harry Hook on the ground getting tons of damage in as well. I'm actually going to spectate Harry Hook for a bit.
Nicholas went back and actually got the teleport.
Yeah, there's no way they get this point. Envyus has got such a good defense going on. They haven't even switched anyone out.
Fanning like it's his birthday. Just so many tanks to walk through. He's got to be having fun. Getting, Mercy support constantly. And Envyus just looking in a very solid position here. Time is starting to tick down, of course, but for point A, not just the map in general. They have 1 minute and 19 seconds to capture A, or they're just going to lose flat out before they,
that was insane damage.
Yeah, I mean, looking really good here for game 1 on the side of Envy. And Taimu being empowered right now by Mercy. Just trying to find one of those kills, but the Winston diving at him, forcing him to get out of there.
Give us 1 kill with the High Noon. It's not really that important at this point.
Harry Hook only scored 1 kill with with his high noon, but it was the enemy McCree.
Okay,
So
that's a
it's
good
very valuable
resurrect.
pickup. Shake comes in with a
They
res,
get right onto
immediately
the point
dies
with
though.
that.
So
That is
sometimes
really
not
good.
only are you surrounded from
That
your
was,
res, but you also lose your mercy more often
that
than
was just such a funny play, like when you think about it. They all ran onto the point, died, and then they resurrected right afterwards.
so it can be really tough
But
to even make use
actually,
of.
let's think about why that didn't work, because that was a good idea. Alright, so this is, you know, they're obviously all gonna die here, right? Like, they have no control at all. They get the Lucia Walt, but
Oh, that could have been good, but
like,
great timing there from the Reinhardt barrier and Winston Shield. Harry Hook only scored 1 kill with his
yeah.
high noon, but it was the enemy McCree, so it's a very, very valuable pickup. Shake comes in with a res immediately.
So this
high noon,
push
but
gets stuffed.
the Reinhardt barrier
Bunch
and
of kills
Winston
for
Shield. Harry Hook
everyone.
only scored 1 kill with his
Junkrat gets 2, Reinhardt gets 1 onto the Reinhardt, who just charged all the way in. So that was the thing, like,
great timing there from the Reinhardt
And forcing him.
they get a bunch of damage down.
Oh,
Reinhardt shield
that could've been
breaks,
good.
Winston
That's a
shield breaks, so
great
Reinhardt
timing there
charges right in,
from the
gets killed,
Reinhardt barrier and Winston Shield. Harry Hook only scored
and then after that's down, like, they have nothing else left. But then they get the resurrect from Mercy. I mean, obviously dies right afterwards, but absolutely worth it. At least for a try, like, that was a good attempt.
Unless you've already got some advantage.
Taimu just kind of styling on the backside right now, though. Picked up a lot of kills in that fight. Trying to trade Nicholas. The Widow Wars have begun. Hope these guys. Oh, Nicholas goes down to Taimu.
Great shot there. Obviously, Taimu had the advantage with his visor up. Nicholas, I think, also had his visor up, though. So, tricky little battle there. Taimu comes out on top. The point is being contested right now for one of the first times in this round. But Taimu jumping down onto Torque is going to be really bad for Gale Force. Losing that DPS means they are eventually all going to fall here. Joe Meister's still on the point, but he's going to not last.
Gonna get overtime. I mean, that's what they had to play for, though.
By Taimu, and there goes Joe Meister.
Two nice snipes there right away.
The two-piece to finish things off. Shake flies into the point, but not going to be fast enough. And he takes game number 1.
Hey, that was pretty desperate there at the end.
Here for the semifinals.
Wow, Envyus just had a killer defense. It's pretty smart what they did with the Symmetra, I thought. Like, they set up turrets in a couple of buildings to kind of gain control for the Junkrat. At least at the beginning, that's what they did. He had a safe zone to just fall back into. I mean, Roadhog kind of screwed that up, but at the end of the day, though, they basically set up a really like sick zone on the point. I don't know, it was really well played. Really great defense.